Hello everyone. So I welcome you all to our today's learning session. So today we have got an interesting data sets, and on that data set, so we're going to perform some data analysis to find some useful insights. So using Pyspark, right? If I have to speak about this data sets, it's very interesting data sets. So it's basically about IPL. So we have the ball-to-ball delivery of every matches starting from 2008 till the latest 2024. So I will definitely attach the link to this dataset in the description, so you can explore a lot about this datasets in future of your interest. So if you see this data set, so it has got attributes like match ID, innings, batting team, batting bowling team, over, ball, batter, bowler, non-striker, batsman run, extra runs, total runs, extras type. Okay, if there is an extras, then it comes here. Then if it is a wicket, the player who has been dismissed and dismissal kind. So probably it can be a caught wicket or LBW or run out or something as like. And here it has got the fielder details. So before we proceed on, so I would like to speak about how the broadcasting channels are using this data sets to provide you more insightful informations during the cricket, and how they keep you more engaged during this matches. So basically, the broadcasters, of course, they definitely have this commentaries. So where the commentators keeps on providing comments for each of the overs, but that is not only the thing which keeps you more engaged with that. So this commentators are being fed with a lot of historical data and a lot of predictions and record achievements and all those things, so which they keep on talking in between the overs, so that they make you more engaged towards the game. And the more you get engaged with the game, the more number of ads and the more number of revenues they can get out of this broadcasting, right? So for example, let's say like if someone is playing a ODI cricket, it's between like India and Australia. So probably like it's going to be like 100 overs. So definitely it's not possible for anyone to watch the 100 overs completely. So probably like if there is any record achievement, if some players who's nearing the record achievements, like he's nearing his scoring 50s, or if he's nearing to score a century, probably we will be like more interested to look over the balls, right? But what about the other balls? To keep you more interesting, so they provide you like a lot of more insights. Let's say like apart from scoring half centuries and centuries, the commentators would probably like speak more about like in today's match, if Virat Kohli scores 35 runs, so he would probably achieve the milestone of 14,000 runs in ODI cricket. So that's one achievement. So probably like apart from scoring a half century, so audience will be more interested to watch Virat Kohli scoring 35 runs in this match, right? So there are definitely like a lot of insights and a lot of predictions that's been performed using this data. All right. So let me move on to the bottom of the CSV because I'm really interested to like perform the analysis on the latest match, which is the IPL 2024 finals, which is being played between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Kolkata. Let's move on to the first over. All right. Yes, of course. So I think like Sunrisers has batted first in the final, and Kolkata was the team who was bowling first. And here are the informations. So, like after performing the analysis over this data sets, so I had something on my mind. So why? So if I had all the ball-to-ball informations about the final match, can I build a data scorecard out of it? So let me show you how the scorecard looks like. Yes. So here, if you see, we have the scorecard of the IPL 2024 final match. So within the scorecard, so you have this batters list based on their batting positions, and the number of the runs they have scored and the balls they have faced, and the total number of boundaries and sixes which they have hit, and what's their strike rate is, and all those things. And apart from that, so we also have got the scorecard of the bowlers, where the number of overs being bowled, if it is a maiden over, and the number of runs which has been considered, and the wickets which has been taken, economy, and that applies the same for the second innings as well. So, let's get started performing the analysis, and let's try to build the scorecard as we have mentioned. Right? So I have my Databricks set up already, and I have already uploaded the CSV file onto my file store. And here is so let me run this. Okay, so if you see here, my file CSV file is situated in this particular location. So let me just read this file and display the output. Okay, it's taking more than time than intended. All right. So here we have this data, and I think yeah, so it has info, so it has actually got us all the columns which are necessary, and all the data are available. Let's get started. So as I mentioned, so we are going to build um, the scorecard for the IPL final match, right? So when I showed you the CSV file, you could see that the match ID has been starting from 2008, and it was ending till 2024, right? The latest match ID would be the IPL 2024's final match, right? So let's try to get the latest ID. Okay. So for that, I have been using this delivery df dot select match ID. So I have used a distinct because, like as you can see, for every records we have this every ball delivery we have this match ID available. So that's why I'm performing a distinct, and I'm sorting this match ID, and I'm ordering it based on descending, right? So let me run it. Okay. So after I ran it, I could see that I could see that the highest record, if I've been ordering it based on descending, is 981,019. But if I remember it right, so basically the match ID for the final IPL match is higher than this. But still, I have this record 981,091. Let's look on to the CSV file. So if you see here, it's ones, tens, and yes, so it's 14,26,312. So this is the match ID for the final match, but it's showing me this 981,091. So think about the problem, why it has descended ordered this descending with this match ID instead of the latest one. So well, before that, let's try to print the schema of it. So here lies the answer. So if you see here on the line 1, so we have read the CSV file without mentioning the schema of it, right? So since we have not mentioned the schema of it, it has assumed that column is a string, right? If you see here, it has assumed all the columns to be a string value, and there is no integers. So if you like order a descending based on a string value, so it's obviously going to bring you the value 9 as the descending order. So let's try to like apply the schema to this data frame, and we will later work on it. Okay, so here if you can see that I have created a list comparison, so where I would mention the struct field for each of the fields available in my columns. If you see here for call in delivery df dot columns, which brings me all the columns in my delivery df data frame, and from that so I'm just trying to like bring in like integer columns as well as the string columns. So if the columns which matches with this, like match id, innings, overs, balls, batsman's run, extra run, total run, and east wickets, then it's an integer type. So that is what the condition I have given here. Else it goes to this part, right? So let me run this. So after I ran this, my fields would look like this. So basically for match ID, it's an integer type. And for batting team, it's a string type. Of course, it's a string. And bowling team, it's a string type. And so now the schema looks good. So let's try to read the data frame um, with the schema applied, right? Okay, so we read the schema. Sorry, we read the data frame using the by applying the schema. Let's try to print the schema. Okay, so right now the match ID should have the schema as integer. Perfect. So right now we have this match ID as integer. So let's try to like perform the descending. Okay, so right now the match with the 14 lakh 26,000, that has to be the latest one. Yes, 14 lakhs 26,312. So let me cross verify it once. 14 lakhs 26,312. Yes, this is the match ID for the final match, right? So we know that this is the latest match, and this is going to be the IPL 2024 final match. And we are only fetching that particular match ID by performing the filter. And so let me rerun it. All right. So you can see that. So we have got the IPL final of match ID 14 lakhs 26,000. But the problem is like we have to be like creating the scorecard for first innings as well as the second innings, right? So let's first build this scorecard for the first innings. So I am filtering the innings as like first, and for that I'm creating a new data frame which is first innings batting df. Okay, let me keep it as batting itself. So okay, so with this probably I'll just have only uh, the first innings records. Let me scroll down. Yes, perfect. So we just only have this first innings. So let me get back to the scorecard again and see like what are all the things we have to like find out. So we have to find the runs scored by each batsman, right? So how do I get to know the runs scored by each batsman? So for every entry, if let's say like let's move on to the top. Okay, so if the batter is a particular person, which is Abhishek Sharma, and if he has entry over here, batsman's run, means that is the number of runs which is scored by the batsman, basically, right? So I have to like group all the batsman's run based on the batter's value record, right? And to find the total number of balls being faced, so I can probably think of like how many number of times the grouping aggregation is being done for Abhishek Sharma, which means like that is the total number of balls he has faced, right? And for total number of for fours, six, and strike rate. Okay. So to find the fours and six, yeah. So probably if the batsman run is equal to four, which means he has scored a boundary, and if it is equal to six, then it means he has uh, scored a six, right? So probably I can do a filter for it. And for strike rate, it's probably like runs divided by balls into 100, right? So let me show you the query which I have created. So here I'm grouping it based on batter, and in the aggregate, I'm just summing the total number of runs each batter has run, each batter has scored, and I'm counting the total number of balls. Um, and so I'm also counting like here I have a when class where I can like if the first innings batsman score is equal to 1, then in that case I'll just make that particular entry as 1, and for every 1 records the count will be increasing. So based on that I can understand like how many boundaries a person has scored. So same applies for the sixes as well, right? And for strike rate, it's possibly like I have to sum the batsman's run divided by total number of balls being played and into 100, right? So, and I'm also rounding off to two precisions. So that's what the precisions they have on the scorecard, right? So let me run this and show you the output. Okay, so I'm been using a wrong data frame. Oh, sorry. Column doesn't. Perfect. So now I have created the data frame. So let me display this data frame. Perfect. So if you see here, so I have created the scorecard for the batters. So let's look for Akram. Sorry, Markram. Okay, so he has scored 20 runs and he has played 25 balls. He has shot like three boundaries, and his strike rate is 80. So let me look like if it matches with the strike rate which is provided here. Where is Aiden Markram? Okay, so Aiden Markram has played scored 20 runs and he has played 23 balls and he has scored three boundaries and his strike rate is 86. Okay, what went wrong with this ball calculation? Is it really a problem? Was that a problem with the dataset itself, or okay? Let me try to do a filter for batter is equal to Akram. Sorry, Markram. I'm really sorry about it. Mm, okay. So I could see there are like 25 rows for Akram, Markram. Okay. So basically, when Markram is playing certain balls, there are cases where he can face also the extras. So that should not be included as part of this calculation, right? So if you see here, he has faced a ball which is of extras type is wide. Okay, he has faced two wides basically. So probably I have to filter out this particular record, right? Mm, Let me put it as like this. Okay, let me. So right now I'm only filtering out the records which do not have the extras type, right? So let me display the scorecard. Sorry, not this one. Oops. Did I make any mistakes? Okay, no problem. So actually earlier I was using equal to operator to like compare with this null. So after I used this is, I was able to get the records for the score DF, and this has filtered only the valid balls, which is not of like extras type. And later, mm, sorry, yeah. So on later, when I just display the scorecard, so Markram has scored 20 runs and he has played 23 balls, and he has scored like four boundaries, and his strike rate is 89.96. Let's compare it. 89.96, three boundaries, 23 balls, and 20 runs. Perfect. So now our analysis looks good with regards to Markram. And yes, perfect. So the next thing is, so if you see the ordering of the batsmen, it's based on the ascending order of batter's name basically. So even it's not based on this batter's name, because AK Markram is here and B Kumar is here. So it's just randomly been ordered. So let's try to like order it based on the batter's position, right? So let me show you the CSV file. So if you see the CSV file, so actually like I try to like do my best to get the batter's order, because if you see in this ball to ball delivery, there is no way that I could find this batter's position, but there is one probable way with which I could be able to identify the batter position. So let's assume that, so Abhishek Sharma is the one who's getting into the batting first, right? The minimum, the very minimum over which he has faced is zeroth over first ball. So this is his very first appearance, right? So probably like I can assign this first appearance of Abhishek Sharma to here, and for Tripathi, it's like first over sixth ball, and head he has played the first second over sixth ball, and Markram he has came to batting the third over third ball, right? So what I did basically did is, So I created a window function, so which is about to like give me the batting order, and so the row number, and it is based on over ball and batter ID. So let me first run it basically. Okay, sorry. This is irrelevant code. So this didn't work in the first instance. Yes. So basically, first I would do a group by operations, and I would try to find the very first appearance of each batsman based on the overs and ball, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just creating a new column which is over ball, and with that I'm basically doing a concatenation of overs with the ball, and I'm casting it as a float type, and then I'm grouping it based on the batter, and based on that in the aggregations I'm for trying to find the minimum over ball, which means its first appearance, right? uh, so let me just run this. Okay, it's not first innings, it's first innings batting. Yes. So if I display it here, yes. So this date table will help me to understand like when exactly the batter has played his very first ball. So Abhishek Sharma has played his very first ball uh, in the first over, first ball, and Tripathi came to batting by first over, sixth ball, and so and so. So if I could able to like add a row to this and order it based on this order which I have given, then probably I can just join this new DF which I have created with the existing DF, so that I can try to like order the batsman uh, based on his appearance, right? So let me, what is it? A window is not been defined. Okay, let me import the window function. Okay, so if I provide an order, yeah, so this is how the batting orders looks like. So here, if you see, basically like joining the scorecard with this batting order DF, which I have created very latestly based on this batter's name, because I do not have any like uh, distinct ID for or primary key ID for each of the batters to join. So in this case, I'm just joining it based on the string column, and I'm doing an inner join because like for whatever the records which is available on the other table will be also available in my main table, right? So let me do this. Perfect. So after joining, we could see that for each batters, we could see the total number of runs being scored and number of balls being played, the total number of boundaries, sixers, strike rate, based on his order. So basically, it has stated the Abhishek Sharma as the first batsman, and Tripathi is the second, and Head is the third. So if you see here, there is a problem with the ordering because Head is the second batter, but his first appearance was only in the third over. So Tripathi has came ahead of it in the appearance, right? So it's because of that it's putting the order like Tripathi and head. So I couldn't like find any probable solutions with this data set to find the ordering. But if anyone can find this, please look onto it and do check. Let us know in comments. And yes, so I think we have achieved the batting scorecard. And let me work out for this bowling scorecard, and we'll wind this off. Yes, so since we have completed the scorecard for the batters, let's start ahead with this bowlers. So before going ahead with bowlers, let me just go through the scorecard to see like what are all the things we have to find out, right? So here in the bowling stats, so we have the list of bowlers and the overs being bowled, the maiden overs, runs, wickets, and economy, right? So let me get to the dashboard. Right. So, like as you know, like since we have this ball-to-ball delivery, so probably I will group it based on the bowlers and get the total number of runs to see what is the total number of runs being considered by the bowler, right? So basically, like if I show you on the Excel sheet, yes. So if I show you on the Excel sheet, so for every balls which is being bowled by the bowlers, it also includes the um, it also includes the extras, right? The extras can be like leg buys, wide, no ball, and all those things. So if you are a cricket lover, you definitely know that the leg buys and the buys are not considered as the counted as a run against the bowler. I mean, like considered by the bowler, right? So we have to like remove the runs which has been considered by extras like buys and leg buys. Okay, so to do that, so in the very first column, so I have the total runs considered, which is the total runs, and then in the next column, so I have the column which is not by the bowler, which means the runs which are not um, basically considered by the bowlers, that is leg buys and buys, right? And then to calculate the total number of balls being bowled, uh, so we have like included the leg buys wide. Just a minute, I totally okay. I just want to confirm if a bowler bowls a wide, it's not been considered, right? As the ball being delivered, right, right, right. So to ensure that the bowler is bowling valid balls, so I have taken the extras type is null. So basically, if you see this extras type, this M column, so we have this empty rows, right? Which means that there is no extras, that means it's a valid ball, right? So I'm filtering this extra type as is null, and I'm also including the leg buys and buys, and I'm doing the count to find the total number of balls being bowled by the bowler. And here I'm just counting the wicket taken by each bowlers, right? So let me run this and show you the output. Well, so this is the output. So basically for each bowlers, you can see what is the total number of runs considered and what is the total number of runs which is not considered by the bowler, um, um, which is the runs scored via buys and leg buys. And this is the total number of balls being bowled. And this is the wicket. Okay. So you might wonder why I have not included the column for maiden. So I will explain about it in later part. So we will proceed on with the further things. Okay. So here we're gonna yes. So we have these columns, right? So by these columns, so how do you find the total number of overs being bowled by the bowler? So of course, so for each over, so we have six balls, and if we divide each balls by 6, we will be able to get the overs. And for runs considered, for runs which is being considered by the bowler, I will take this runs considered by the minus runs not being considered by the bowler. Okay, so with that I'll be able to get the total number of runs which is being given by the bowler. And well, for economy, so I am been using this runs considered divided by the balls and divided by 6. That is basically the economy, right? So let me run it and we'll just try to compare this thing. Okay. Okay, so if you see here, basically for Ander Russell, it seems like he has bowled 2.5 overs. But with the scorecard, I could see that Russell has bowled only like 2.3 overs. So I went ahead and looked upon the CSV file. I could see that um, like Russell has actually bowled. I think it's, yeah, Russell has bowled 15 balls basically. So he has bowled. Yeah, let me type it over here. Yeah. So Russell has bowled 15 balls. So if it is a 15 ball, then we know that 12 balls will go for uh, 2 overs, and the rest of the 3 balls should be calculated as dot 3. So which is 2.3 should be what it has to be written over here. But what's the problem is, so we are basically using a logic to divide the balls by 6, right? So if I divide 15 divided by 6, it's basically like 2.5. So we have to come up with a new logic to calculate the total number of overs. So I basically have written it over here. So to identify basically the total number of overs being bowled, so first I have used this floor function. So what floor does is, so if you're doing a division divided by 6, and if it has any remainings, it will not take any rest of the decimal value. So let's say like if it is going to be like 2.5, so this floor function will only return me 2. And I have this concatenations which will hold this dot value, and then I will do this modulus of 6. With this, what I can do is like I'll get only the remaining values. So let's say if it is a 15, so 15 modulus 6 is basically 3. So if I concatenate all the values, which is 2.3. So that is basically the over which has been bowled by Ander Russell. And also if you see for the runs considered, you can see a lot of null values, right? So here we have used the logic like yeah, run considered minus not by the bowler. So there are certain cases where there wouldn't be like any balls being bowled like leg buys or buys by any of the bowlers. In those cases it will have null records, right? So what happens if you try to subtract an integer value minus null, then probably its output is going to be null, right? So to overcome this, so we probably can use 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐼s. With 𝐊𝐿𝐼s, I'm just replacing this null value with 0 value, and that's how I basically calculate the runs. So let's try to compare it with the scorecard. Okay, so I'm going to take it for Mitchell Stark. So let's see. So Stark has bowled 3 overs, and he has given 24 runs. Sorry. Mitchell Stark has given like 14 runs, and he has taken 2 wickets, and his economy is 4.67. Perfect. So we are almost good with this bowler scorecard. So the only thing which is remaining for me is basically the maiden overs. So if you see here, like in the very first thing, here I'm grouping it based on bowler. So only if I group it based on bowlers, I'll be able to get like the total number of runs which is being considered by him over the period of all the overs. But if I have to calculate his maiden overs, so I probably have to know the total number of runs considered in a single over has to be 0. So I check that Harshit has bowled a maiden over in 14th over, I believe. Yes. So Harshit has bowled like yeah. So you can see that he has not bowled any. He has not considered any runs over here. It's a complete maiden ball, right? So if I basically group it based on bowler and group it based on overs, so I probably have to get a zero value, right? So if I'm getting a zero value, then it means like a bowler has bowled a maiden over, right? But there is also certain logics, like let's say like even Hashit has bowled like 6 balls. Out of the 6 balls, let's say like for 2 balls he has considered runs through buys and leg buys, which should not be considered actually, right? So I have to filter those records, and I have to find the maiden bowlers who has given the maiden over, and then I have to join the rest of the values, right? So for that, um, okay, yes. So for that, so I have created a new data frame which is made in Bowler DF. So here I'm grouping it based on Bowler and his overs. So here I have taken the total number of runs being considered and the total number of runs not being considered by the bowler, right? So you can see it over here. Um, so basically let's go for the 14th over. So Harshit has bowled this over. He has bowled 6 balls and he has not conceded any runs, and there is no leg buys or something as like, right? And but there is one catch over here. So I cannot only consider the runs considered has to be 0. So maybe some bowlers could have bowled only 3 balls in a over where the match could have like uh, got closed, and I should not consider that entry as a maiden over, right? So if you can see here, so Ander Razel has bowled his 18th over. In that, he has only bowled 3 balls, but the total number of runs considered is 0. So this definitely should not be considered, right? So I am filtering out that based on the condition as like um, yes. So with the runs by the bowler should be equal to 0, and the total number of balls bowled by the bowler should also be equal to 6, right? So if you see here, Hashish is the one who has bowled that over. It's the 14th over. He has considered 0 runs and he has also bowled 6 balls. So now I will again just do a group by operations and get to know the total number of maiden overs for each bowlers, and then I'm performing a join with the existing scorecard bowler DF with this maiden bowler DF based on bowler. And yeah, this is what the outcome is. Let's look out for this Harshit record. So for Harshit, he has bowled 4 overs and he has bowled 1 maiden over, and the total number of runs considered is 24. Yes, it is 24, and he has taken 2 wickets, so the economy is 6. Perfect. So right now I have created the scorecard for the batting and the bowling. So of course it was really tough. It was challenging to identify a lot of use cases, missing use cases. So of course you people can definitely use this data set and try to find different insights out of it. So if you really want us to work on some different insights, so do let us know in comments so we can work on it and post it on the upcoming series. And so that's all from my side. Thank you, guys.